Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders. Hope you guys had a fantastic evening. I know some of the future traders were crushing it overnight. We got Agnes in the house. Good morning. Andrew, good morning. Bill, Brian, we got D, good morning. David, Eric is with us. Fayaz, Franco, Jenny, Greg Hill is in the house. Inga, good morning. Jason P. King. I can't just say Jason. It's got to be Jason P. King. It's not like one name like Cher. You got to go full. You got to go full name. Jay, good morning. We got Joe, Joshua, John, good morning. L. Chuck Jackson in the house. Good morning. We got Matt R. with us. Marissa gracing us with her presence. Good morning. Rick, Sam, Scott, Shane, Tana, Win, Sochi's in the house. Yes, sir. All my people in YouTube land, good morning to you guys, Ed and gals. And let's see if we can do a screen share for TradingView. But I hope you guys are feeling much better than the SPY NQs this morning. Hope you guys are feeling much better than Tesla this morning. You know what? Let's just call it the entire list this morning. Hope you guys are feeling at least a little bit better. At least a tad. Whew, crazy. But we do have a gap down, so let's do something real quick on. This is a retest gap. Although, before we even get to that, but before we walk down that path together, what happened yesterday? We were feeling good for a minute. We did say in the morning 400. That was a spot we had to break. We had some decent efforts from the bulls to try to get there. We were holding up for a while. And then Jay Powell got COVID. I don't think that was the entire reason, but it is suspect that the market did drop as soon as that news came out. I think you guys were on top of it first. You guys threw it in the chat like JP got COVID, and we hung out for like another 2 minutes, and then we started to fall. I don't think the drop was specifically, although I'm sure it didn't help because of JP. But right there, we had Fed Bullard talking as well. He's usually a little bit more hawkish for the market in general anyway. But he was out there. He made a couple statements. One of them, which I think the market really, really reacted to, was that he thinks it's appropriate we have a half-point basis rate hike for February. The entire market was pretty much settled down with the assumption everything is going well. We had PPI that morning. We had CPI a couple weeks ago. Inflation's coming down. We're looking decent. And then all of a sudden, Fed is right back into there. So again, we don't know. We have no idea if the Fed's going with the half point or the quarter point hike. But that was definitely something the market was not expecting. We need to raise interest rates. Yes. So kind of putting a little worry in the face of the market about that quarter point, and maybe now that half point comes on the table. Then today we have some more news as well. We had the jobless claims, and the jobless claims are going down, meaning that more people are getting jobs. Not what the Fed wants. That's not good for the market. In a normal world, yeah, but not for the Fed. Don't think he didn't short 50 stocks before he said that. I know I saw him from the podium. He started counting cash at the podium. I was like, ooh, that's a bold move. It was crazy. But yeah, we need the jobless claims are going the wrong direction. So again, that's still telling us that that from at least the point of view of when the Fed could pivot, which is what the market's waiting for, is not really there yet. So that's another bad piece of news. Then you have Jamie Dimon coming out, and he said the market and the Fed are looking for about a 5% terminal rate. This is all this. I believe he came out this morning and said this. they're looking, the market's looking for about a 5% terminal rate. And now Jamie Dimon is coming out saying that's probably too low. It's probably got to be more than that. And he's saying there's certain aspects of the inflation, which we are just assuming will come down, that is going to be a lot more stubborn than we thought. So then you got Jamie Dimon coming in. So just a slew of negative, bad press for the market. They need a new PR person. The SPY needs another agency, I think. But we will see today. So what we were going to do before, again, that being said, not a lot of great news for the market in the last 24 hours. But we do know this is a retest gap. I don't really want to short at open. Doesn't mean I want to go long, but let's see if we can make a case for what we should look for at least. And then we'll get to some individual names. Oh, and then Jay's throwing some more fuel to the fire. Yeah. Options expiration tomorrow, too. That should be a doozy. And we got Netflix earnings tonight, too, I believe. The market will be heavily tuned into Netflix as well. So keep that in mind. Even after all this happens today, whatever is about to unfold, then you got the real start to the kickoff of earnings season tonight. I mean, obviously we had some banks on Friday, things like that, but Netflix, number one, tech related. Number two, and there's a little new component, but I think the market's going to start to see they did add the ad revenue portion of the business, and things like Meta getting killed from advertising. Google would be heavily related to advertising. So to see the Netflix numbers come in as far as how that launched, how it went, how people are responding, are people still advertising? That's going to be heavily viewed from the market. So Netflix will be a big one today that will probably have some kind of effect on the overall market as well. Keep that in mind. Here's a fib from the lows of at least the beginning of this move. This takes us to about 374.83-ish, 374.77 to roughly the high of the market. This is not all to the penny. It's very close to it. We're not at a 50% retracement yet. So my initial thought, again, I don't know what happens. We'll see. We'll play it and be flexible. I don't want to short because I think we could get a decent bounce spot at open. Probably if anybody was watching Bullard real time and they're like, okay, that's negative statements, and got in short at the open today, they're all profitable. So we might get some kind of potential bounce, I would think, or what I would like to see. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But some kind of move down to this 387.53 initial, just a little bit of a panic off the jobs numbers or the jobless claims. And then we look for some kind of a retest, a bounce. This would be a very strong area, I think, into this one. I was going to go a little bit higher, and we might get there, but we'll see. This is 391.76. So somewhere in that area would be a very good one. That would close the gap. That would also hit into this one. If we do go a little bit higher, that would mean that we've hit this last VPOC at 393.69. So I'm really looking at those two spots for some point as to, all right, probably the bullishness is done, and let's start to look bearish again. Close that little VPOC, and that would be a nice spot to buy some puts if you have not done so already, just in case. And then maybe even getting a couple there if we do come in for that retest. So that's what I'm planning on. We'll see how the market wants to play out. Again, hitting this level, and I'm not sure, maybe pre-market we already hit that. Let me just double check. 387.83 was the low. Now we were right there. Yep, we already kind of bounced right there. So maybe we just out of the gate go bullish. Pre-market we kind of hit those levels. Chinese stocks are mildly up. Yep, and for everybody in the chat pane, if you guys want to just rotate the little drop down box from host and panelists to everyone, this way everyone can see the greatness from you guys. Matt R says, didn't you want a moment of silence for the markets? I do, but I just, it's awkward when I do moments of silence, honestly, because I don't know like when to end it. I did a moment of silence one time. 3 hours later, I started talking. It just, you know, I'm all in. I'm all in. People are like, I don't, when's this thing end? You count to one moment and you're done. That's it. Now, see, I don't want to be disrespectful and be too brief for the markets either. So it's a fine. I respect people that do moments of silence because you gotta time that thing perfectly. All right, so we have the cues again. Retest gap. Technically, we are at the 10 EMA on a daily chart, so decent bounce spot for us to start to move. Actually, a little bit more bullish. Closing that retest, probably going bearish at open again is going to be a little bit rough. And yesterday was a big move. Nice bearish engulfing candle. I would expect there is definitely some people profitable. Moments are pretty long. Not touching that one. We're gonna go to Apple. So again, gap down, still above the 10 EMA. Tesla I saw was moving as well. Probably everything is going to look very, very similar. So if you guys do have anything that looks different or stuff that you guys want to look at, we could entertain that one as well. Tesla still above the 10, should be a retest. I would expect a retest and look for 128, probably a little bit lower. So 128.24 would be a spot where I'd start to get worried if I was in this thing bullish. That doesn't give you that much room to the upside, maybe about $1.20, something like that. Nothing too crazy. Crowd. Crowd looks interesting. Again, this is technically a retest gap. I don't know if we retest fully. Probably the best we could get to is about $100.29. That will close this VPOC, and that would also be a rejection into the low of this or the opening of this green candle, plus into that 10 EMA, and then maybe we do sell a little bit more further in crowd. Yeah, Coinbase. Also, I think Riot, Mara, anything related with crypto was getting beat up. It still looks a little bit like the rest of the market. But again, look at this move. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crypto's still holding up decent. We are at a VPOC. I would expect, and this is a retest gap, I would expect, at least from here, if we open right around here, this should be a retest, so be patient at open. I really don't want to play anything bullish, but I also don't want to be the first one to jump in bearish. You're looking at gap closed. Trying to see which gap. Which gap are you talking about? That bullish gap closed. You're talking about this one right here? Yeah, slightly, but also you would expect even if we, I would expect some kind of pullback. That's also a very negative day too. That's a negative close. So you had some bulls exuberant at one point, trying to rally this thing up. Obviously, that big wick means there's a lot of selling pressure, and there's 0 wick at the bottom of that thing. Also, a bearish engulfing candle as well. And again, if I don't know, maybe this thing just absolutely falls through the floor. That's very possible. We'll see what happens, especially if we start hitting those recessions that everyone keeps talking about. Still not clear what a recession is anymore, but we'll I guess we'll be on that journey together. Otherwise, yeah, probably looking for at least a pullback to about 44.41 or 44.55-ish, according to my rando numbers on the side. But that would be a 50% retest. Again, still just to, in a worst case, at least get some kind of pullback. We got some FUD in the market. Pull back a little bit. That would be a healthier move, and then maybe we head bullish if you want to think bullish at open. Again, retest gap. I'd still be a little bit more short until I'm not. And right now I would be short, but probably have to let that thing close into this new gap kind of forming today as it's retest. Play it for a little bit of a longer pullback. Again, that 50% or 618 would be decent spots, still healthy. If we start breaking through that, next spot we have to look for is about 100% retest back to 31, about $32. Jamie hates Bitcoin because you don't have a big enough position. He would love it if he took that last run up. I can guarantee you that. Got put spread in YouTube. Good morning, put spread. We're in the age of changing definitions, so yeah, I don't. It gets all very confusing, which is the way the government wants it. See if I missed anything else. Really, the only thing you guys wanted to see today was coin. All right, well, it's been incredible. I will see you guys all tomorrow. You guys are awesome. We got shop. Okay. SHOP, just the 1P. And then Woodshed wants to take a look at Netflix is going to change. Jeremy, Netflix, I think, will trade a little bit strange today because of earnings tonight. So I would be there could definitely be some moves and people just readjusting, but also that readjustment could cause a little bit of a shaky environment for Netflix until earnings come out. So just be aware of that for tonight. Same thing on Shopify. Yeah, you got to expect some kind of a retest, even if we were to draw some kind of fib on this one. And again, the valuation, I said this about 6-7 months ago, probably about 6 months ago. I was looking for about a $20 for just in a long-term perspective of where I thought the company was valued. I had about $20. We got to 23, missed me by $3, and then took this crazy run. I think at this point, honestly, it's probably still very, very overvalued. I think price per earnings, you're paying a lot. So this thing has to come back, I think, a lot more. But on a trade basis, pre-market, we are right. It's like right under that 50. And again, so this is a decent spot for a early morning bounce, close that gap a little bit, come in for that retest, and then look for that rollover. So that's how I would plan that one. But yeah, it's gapping down into a little bit of a kind of a little bit of support. But Netflix, we'll take a look at Netflix as well. NFLX. Nick in YouTube land says Tesla. Okay, we'll take a look at that one too. Yep, Netflix right now opening inside day. Technically, this is a retest gap. This is going to be a little bit shaky, I think, to trade. I do think Netflix tomorrow will give us a huge opportunity for day trade, because I think we should have a decent move one direction or the other. My guess is probably to the downside. we'll see what happens. If I just with that run, they're going to need some crazy earnings to, I think, continue that run. Otherwise, you see people taking profits. And again, keep in mind, so we're on the daily. Let's scroll back a little bit. Like this stock went from, I think even more than that. I think we went from like 160-ish, 169, all the way up to 326. We did close this gap up here. We saw this a lot in 2020, I believe, where companies had really good earnings, but they also ran up incredible amounts. So they would have to actually come out and, I think, crush it for this thing to really, really get some steam in a bullish direction. And buying puts today is going to be tough, because I think a lot of those options are probably starting to be priced in for bigger moves either direction. But we will see. AMD. A little bit of a gap down, should again be a retest gap. If you're quick at open, playing a very small time frame, 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart, you probably have some bullish moves. AMD might be a contender. Again, we're at the daily 10. look for that as some kind of support. We'll see if we can get a good candle at open, and maybe we go bullish on AMD, just looking for that retest. We do have, I mean, again, it's not a huge amount of room. We have $1.50, so we'd have to have a pretty much 75-cent spread. We'll see. Ford looks a little bit more gross. Man, I move that. Yep. So Ford, solid close below the 10, close below the previous day, outside of those little high waves. So I think the direction has been established, but and we're also below that dotted line, which is a lot more volume in a longer time frame. Still not going to be the first one to short this one. I would have to wait for this retest. This one, very, very small retest would be decent. So again, to the bullish side, not a lot happening. Have to wait, be patient, and then look for probably more continued downside to that one. Roblox, I believe they got a downgrade today, if I'm not mistaken, and the stock is down for sure. Again, still above the 10, and I think they had some good news too come out yesterday, and even that good news they just kind of sold off into. And now you got the downgrade. We have a decent support level, very, very strong. Roblox, could we make something in a retest bullish move? That'd be about 60 cents, $1.60. Looking at, yeah, you know what? We're going to throw Roblox in there for almost a bullish play. See if we get anything. I don't know if we do close the gap or not, but very good support. We do have the 10 to boost us up a little bit. It is scary going bullish on things when the market is relatively bearish. But we will see on that. Roku, ROKU. Big move. We have huge resistance probably coming in at somewhere 52.95. We have not made that yet. Still above the 10. This would be a retest. Kind of smack in the middle. I would probably stay away from this one completely, unless it either dropped down to 47.96 to look for a long. Otherwise, I'd be looking for a short somewhere around $50.35, somewhere in that zone. Otherwise, you're right in the middle. So risk reward is, I mean, you'd be flipping a coin, just hoping to get the correct direction on that one. So I'd probably stay away personally from that one. Square, SQ. Some volume. We are this one again. I would expect a retest. I don't think I would expect us to retest all the way to 72.53. Maybe potentially we could get to 71.63, and then we look for that rollover. Nice in a longer term picture, nice double top. We still kind of came in with higher highs, but this is also a very, very big move. Massive move to pretty much kick off 2023. So in a worst case, again, I don't know. Maybe this is just all a big pullback, and then we rally bullish again. We try that 400 on the SPY. Otherwise, this could be the spot where we get that bigger rollover. Tesla for Nick in YouTube land. It's going to be tough at open. I do expect probably somewhere around the 123 to be support. Looking at 123 would be a decent spot for bounce. I do expect us to probably get down to that level. Right now, though, you're still inside technically of yesterday's candle, or actually with that last move, we're slightly under yesterday's move. Depending on the next 5 minutes where this thing wants to open, I'd look for maybe, again, slight little bullish test to 128.30. And then I'd probably be looking for, can it roll over and get back down to this 123. But here's a nice bullish breakout. This is about a 50% retest of this candle where we came into. We do have some good support down there. Earnings next week, I believe next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. But probably at the open, Tesla's going to be one to just almost stay away from unless I was going to put an alert, but honestly, it's going to go off as soon as the market opens. 128.30 would be my spot to consider a short, at least see what kind of candles develop around there and see if we could take this thing maybe down a little bit further. So could not be any more clear. I am bullish bear. So you guys can flip a coin on that one. For the most part, yeah, I'm kind of looking for bigger pullbacks on things at open again, at least from what we're looking at. Honestly, be patient at open, I think, would be the best play for today. And some of the things like AMD, we might be able to squeeze a win on. Roblox, we might be able to squeeze a little bit of a win on because those gaps are big enough where we might be able to make something on the upside. Some of the other stuff we've been looking at, Matt says I'm so confused. Welcome to my life. Some of the other things we've been looking at, though, it's not a lot. Like Google, even if that's a retest, it's a very, very small retest. It's nothing too crazy. Schwab, interesting candle yesterday. Gap down, little doji, all of that's getting taken out. So Schwab looks like it might be in some trouble. JP Morgan, after the result of Jamie Dimon's full force bearishness into the market today, helping this thing probably come down another leg lower. We are below a major candle. Not below it. Still have a maybe safety level. Yeah, because we're still in this candle, I'd expect some kind of retest to this, but that's not a great open for JP Morgan whatsoever. Can we look at MO? Yeah, MO had some kind of news yesterday where there's, it sounds like it's self-directed, but some kind of a quality tests to see what their products do to different communities, and then also something with the equality in the work environment. It's going to be like a year-long project, something like that. I don't know, but it didn't seem like it was a government forced. It was just them volunteering to do it. I don't know how to take it. To be honest, I don't know if that's good for them or bad. Like, is that proactive on their part, or is that like, yeah, we don't have enough heat in this grill, so let's throw some wrenches up in there. I don't know. Before recession starts, it's probably good to start getting conscious about your workspace environment, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, pretty big down day, which again, I'm smiling. I'm happy with that. I would love this thing to keep on coming down, to be honest, and I would like to buy some more. I don't think tobacco and mostly anything that they touch is going to be really greatly affected. So I still like the company. I'm hoping this thing, I really want this thing to come down, hit $40, go to 33. I don't care. I'm good with it. Jeremy put a bearish foot. Yeah, I agree. That's not a great candle from yesterday. It looks like we definitely have the ability to head lower, and I will be a buyer lower. So I have a decent position already, but all my average price is still lower than where we're at now. So before I can really add on and get the position size I want, this thing's got to come lower. But unfortunately, we only got 14 seconds left. Keep in mind, next week, for anybody that is not aware, next week is free week. Make sure you go to reallifetrading.com. You can register for it. It costs you 0%. It costs you like $0. We take recessions very seriously here, so therefore we don't charge for free week. But make sure you guys register for that. You guys could hang out with us all day long in the different rooms, trading, all the different education classes that we do throughout the week. It should be an incredible time. Also, don't be selfish. Share it with a friend. And otherwise, we will see you guys all tomorrow. On the way out, YouTube, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. Stay in touch with all the